Have you ever stood in a place you've never been and felt a strange, quiet recognition? Like your soul whispered, "I've been here." A street in a foreign city, the sound of bells you've never heard. A scent in the air that brings tears without a reason. Maybe it's not just déjà vu. Maybe your soul remembers places your body has never walked. Some call it imagination, but what if it's memory? Not of this life, but one that left its echo deep inside you. Sometimes we fear what never happened. We grieve things we never lost. A voice calls your name in a dream, but you don't know who it belongs to. A song you've never heard brings tears to your eyes. These are not random. They are fragments, pieces of stories your soul has carried across lifetimes. The pain, the longing, the quiet knowing. You are not just the sum of this life. You are the echo of all that came before. What if your deepest fears aren't just yours? What if the anxiety, the heartbreak, the weight in your chest came from a soul that once lost everything, and yet somehow survived? Maybe you're not just remembering. Maybe you're completing a story that was left unfinished. A life that couldn't say goodbye. A voice that never got to speak. You are not haunted. You are connected. And healing now means healing what was never healed before. Maybe you're not broken. Maybe your soul has simply walked through too many storms. Each scar a mark from another life. Each silence a chapter left unfinished. But what if these scars are sacred? What if they are proof not of weakness but of survival? A quiet testimony that your spirit has known loss and still kept going. Perhaps you were once a mother who lost her child, or a warrior who died in silence. Maybe you carry wounds you cannot name, but they still ache. And now, they rise not to haunt you, but to be healed. Sometimes what you fear in this life is simply an echo of a past you never understood. You're afraid of water, though you've never drowned. You fear abandonment, though you've always been loved. These are not just phobias. They are the soul's way of remembering pain that your mind has forgotten. Your soul remembers the fire, the fall, the betrayal, the silence. And when the memories rise in dreams or in flashes, you wonder, why does this hurt so much when nothing has happened? But something did happen, just not in this life. And your soul has been waiting for you to finally listen. There are places you've never been, but your heart aches when you see them. Faces you've never met, but they feel familiar. You may think it's coincidence, but your soul knows it's memory. A kind of memory deeper than thought, a language of the spirit. Sometimes we are drawn to people, not because of who they are now, but because of who they once were to us. A sister, a lover, an enemy, a promise never fulfilled. These meetings are not accidents. They are echoes, invitations to heal. You've felt it, haven't you? That moment of quiet when time pauses and something inside you stirs. A sadness you can't explain, a nostalgia without a home. These are whispers of a soul older than this body. You have lived, you have loved, you have lost. And somewhere deep inside you still carry those names, those songs, those goodbyes. But your soul is not here to relive the pain. It is here to transcend it, to transform sorrow into grace, to turn remembering into healing, and healing into peace. Not everything can be explained, and not everything needs to be. There is a sacred mystery in your story, not to solve but to honor. The soul doesn't work like a clock. It works like a river, flowing through time, through lives, through dreams, sometimes forward, sometimes back, sometimes still. When you feel lost, maybe you are not broken, just remembering. When you feel disconnected, maybe it's the soul asking to be heard again. Let it speak, not with words, but with silence, with wonder, with grace. You are here because it is time. Somewhere deep inside you, a child still cries for something lost long ago. Not from this life, but from a time your heart still remembers. Maybe a family that vanished in fire, a love that never returned from war, a promise whispered under stars that were never seen again. These echoes don't go away. They wait until your soul is quiet enough to feel them again. And when they rise, they don't come to break you. They come to remind you of how deeply you once loved, that you are more than pain. You are what survived it. Every fear you carry might be a doorway. What if the darkness you avoid is actually the tunnel between lives? What if the nightmares are memories your soul can't forget? We are taught to run from fear, but what if healing lives on the other side of it? You came here not to be perfect, but to become whole. And to become whole, we must walk through the wounds, not around them. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become now. Time is not what you think. The soul doesn't live in straight lines. It circles, it spirals, it returns. What feels like an ending might only be the middle. What you call coincidence might be a sacred reunion. Maybe the stranger on the street was your sister once. Maybe the pain you carry is not only yours, but generations deep. And yet you are here, now, with the power to choose again. You are not just remembering, you are rewriting. In the silence between breaths, in the space between thoughts, that's where your soul whispers. It's not loud, it doesn't beg, it simply waits. And when you slow down enough to listen, something ancient stirs. A truth you didn't read, a knowing you didn't learn. Because you were always meant to remember, not with the mind, but with the heart. And when you do, healing flows not just through you, but through time itself. You are the bridge now between what was and what can be. There is a longing in you that no success, no relationship, no pleasure can fully satisfy. It's not emptiness, it's memory, a sacred homesickness for a place your body has never been. But your soul remembers, a realm of light, of stillness, of truth. You've seen glimpses in dreams, in music, in the quiet between thoughts. You are not crazy for longing. You are homesick for God. And that longing is the compass, not to escape life, but to live it with your heart awake. You are not starting from zero. You are returning to a path you've walked before, to a truth you've carried through lifetimes. That's why you feel called to silence, drawn to mystery, moved by beauty you cannot explain. Because your soul knows the way. It remembers the stars that guided you before, the prayers you once whispered, the light you once followed. And now you are waking up, not learning, just remembering. Not all who wander are lost. Some are remembering. Some are walking paths they once knew, in bodies that have forgotten. But the soul always leaves clues, in dreams, in déjà vu, and the way your heart aches without knowing why. These are not illusions, they are invitations to remember what matters, to return to what's real, to find your way home, not to a place, but to the truth of who you are. Sometimes healing doesn't feel like light. It feels like breaking, like losing what you thought was true, like being undone. But what if healing isn't becoming something new? What if it's the remembering of who you've always been, beneath the noise, beneath the pain? The soul does not heal by forgetting. It heals by revealing. And maybe that's what this life is. Not a punishment, not a mistake, but a gentle uncovering of who you really are. You don't need to remember the details of every past life. The healing isn't in the facts, it's in the feeling, in the forgiveness, in the letting go. The soul doesn't ask for a perfect memory, it asks for your presence. To feel what was frozen, to cry the tears that were held back, to love what was once lost. And in doing so, you shift not only your path, but the path of those who came before you. You become a lighthouse, not by knowing, but by being. Maybe the past life is not behind you, but within you. A breath carried across centuries, a voice that still trembles when you pray. A wisdom that rises when you're still. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anyone else. You just have to listen. To the quiet, to the ache, to the love that keeps pulling you back to center. This life is not separate from the others. It is a continuation, a sacred echo. And you are the one who chose to come back. Maybe the past life is not behind you, but within you. A breath carried across centuries, a voice that still trembles when you pray. A wisdom that rises when you're still. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anyone else. You just have to listen. To the quiet, to the ache, to the love that keeps pulling you back to center. This life is not separate from the others. It is a continuation, a sacred echo. And you are the one who chose to come back. The soul does not age, it expands, it deepens. It carries music from other lifetimes, songs without words, but full of meaning. And sometimes you feel it, in the quiet moments, in tears you can't explain, in love that feels ancient. You are not broken. You are becoming vast. And as your soul grows, the world begins to shift, not outside, but inside. You don't just remember the past, you awaken the timeless. You were not meant to live in fear, but to pass through it. Like the soul crossing rivers between lives, fear is not a wall, it is a veil. And when you breathe through it, it lifts. On the other side, there's not perfection, but peace. Not certainty, but surrender. The soul never needed answers. It only needed presence, and from that presence comes power. Not the kind that controls, but the kind that liberates. And so here you are, not by accident, but by calling. You chose this time, this body, this life, not as punishment, but as part of remembering. Even your pain is part of the path. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing is outside grace. You are the thread that connects all your stories. And the moment you stop running, the wisdom returns, the light returns, and you see it clearly. You were never lost, just becoming. There is a wisdom in you that doesn't speak in words. It speaks in knowing, in stillness. In the quiet way, your body tenses when something isn't right. In the peace that falls when truth arrives. This is the voice of your soul, not loud but certain. And the more you trust it, the more it grows. You don't have to seek far to hear it. You just have to listen, because the voice that remembers your past also guides your present. You are not here by mistake. You are part of a great unfolding, a soul stream moving through time. What you do now matters, not just for you, but for those who will come after. Your healing is theirs. Your light becomes a path. You carry not only your past, but your purpose, and with every breath you choose again. To love, to forgive, to remember. This life is sacred. Because you are sacred. One day you will see it all clearly. The reasons, the timing, the pain, the grace. And you will smile, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. Your soul came here to grow, to love again, to break open and let the light in. And as you walk onward, know this: you are not alone. You are never alone. Heaven walks with you, even in silence, even in shadow, even now. What if your longing is not a flaw, but a memory, a holy echo from before this life? The ache you feel, it's not weakness. It's your soul reaching out, trying to find what it once knew. The path home isn't something you build. It's something you uncover. And every step, every tear, every silence brings you closer. You are not wandering. You are remembering. Do you remember the first time you looked at the stars and felt something move inside you? That was not curiosity. It was recognition. Your soul knew, because it had seen them before. You have loved under these skies. You have wept. You have prayed. And though lifetimes may blur the details, the essence remains. You are not starting new. You are continuing something eternal. Sometimes the greatest gift is not a miracle, but memory. Not the ability to fix the past, but to bless it, to see your pain and not turn away, to hold your own hand through time. You are here to remember gently. Not rush, not fight, just notice. And when you do, you'll feel it. A peace deeper than understanding. A home that lives inside you. A God who has never left. This is not the end. It's a return. A gentle circling back to what matters. To what's real. The soul doesn't move in straight lines. It spirals. It deepens. Every step you take now, even the slow ones, even the trembling ones, is a prayer. A remembering, a healing. You're not behind. You're on time. You're not broken. You're becoming whole again. You are a story that God is still telling. A song not yet finished. A light still rising. Even now, even here, you are being shaped by grace. The past does not define you. It refines you. It teaches you to love deeper, to let go softer, to listen longer. Your soul is wise not because it knows everything, but because it's willing to learn again. So let go of the fear. Release the need to know it all. Just breathe. Trust the unfolding. Your soul has been here before. It knows the way. It remembers the love, the pain, the promise, and it chose this life again. Not to suffer, but to become light. So when you doubt, return to stillness. Return to silence. Return to the whisper.